Let's go into the most recent news with regard to Diddy. I will be covering this on After Hours tonight. I will be going into all of the different reactions from people that are close to or got away from Diddy. I will not go into detail right here on the Millionaire Morning Show because that is not what this show is for. But I just want to keep you guys informed. I did a really quick reaction to this on Anton Daniels' channel before we jumped into the Q show yesterday. But I want to keep you guys informed of what's going on over at Diddy and his mansions being raided in both Los Angeles and Miami. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Shout out to Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift.
Overnight, heavily armed federal authorities staging coordinated coast-to-coast raids at properties belonging to music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Homeland Security investigations team seen descending on his multi-million-dollar home in Los Angeles, going room to room and hauling away boxes. Across the country, more investigators swarmed the rapper's property in a wealthy section of Miami, appearing to carry out a laptop. Multiple sources tell NBC News Combs was in Miami during the searches and had several phones seized before he was scheduled to leave for a trip to the Bahamas.
The speed at which it appears these raids were conducted suggests that agents were concerned that they needed to secure evidence quickly and prevent anyone from destroying evidence before they got there.
The raid.
So, first, we want to be very clear. Very clear, because it's a lot of rumors, and this is one of the reasons why I like to wait till the facts come out and let everything settle before we start to get into the conversation. So first and foremost, he was in Miami. Let's say that again. When these raids happen in Los Angeles and Miami, he was in Miami. And he was on his way or planning for a vacation, according to what the news is saying. Now, listen, I can't make it up. I can't do anything different than what it is that's being reported. What he's basically, he was on his way to a vacation in the Bahamas. He was in Miami when this happened. So for everybody that likes to, because we all play a game of telephone, especially on social media. And it's so easy for rumors to just get started and for people to just start passing out a whole bunch of false information. What really happened was he was in Miami when the raid happened. He was not arrested, okay? A lot of people say that he was arrested. He was not arrested. They took whatever electronic devices that they can get in order to be able to source more information for what it is that he's being investigated for, or what these warrants for these raids, what it was required for, okay? He was not arrested. They interacted with him, according to what the news is saying, and I also did some research to better understand whether or not just this one news source was accurate. It is accurate. He was in Miami. They did interact with him, and, they wanted to make sure that they got all of the electronic devices that they can get in order to make sure that they got all of the information for what it is that they was coming for, okay? We'll get into the details of why they was raiding him in the first place. So put away all of the rumors. Stop going back and forth with people talking about, oh my God, he's over there with Russell Simmons. It's not true, okay? It's not true. Let's only deal with the facts. Let's not deal with fiction. Facts, not fiction. Let's continue.
Which lasted into the night, carried out on search warrants out of New York, connected to an investigation into allegations of sex trafficking, according to a source familiar with the matter. The source also telling NBC News multiple witnesses have been interviewed by prosecutors and investigators in relation to Combs, who is facing an onslaught of civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault, sex trafficking, and the illegal distribution of guns and drugs. Among his accusers, Rodney Little Rod Jones, a music producer who originally filed a lawsuit against Combs in February. Jones alleged that Combs forced him to procure sex workers and pressured him to engage in sex acts with them. Now, Jones has amended that civil suit after the raid, adding Oscar-winning actor Cuba Gooding Jr. as a defendant, alleging that Gooding groped Jones while on Combs' yacht. Representatives for Gooding did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Another prominent accuser, former longtime partner and R&B singer Cassie.
Cassie, for holding me down in the dark times. Love.
Last November, she accused Combs of physically and sexually abusing her for years. The case was settled a day after the civil suit was filed for an undisclosed amount. Combs' attorney adding that the settlement was in no way an admission of wrongdoing.
And since Cassie's suit, as we've covered, several others have come forward leveling similar accusations. Combs has vehemently denied all of those. We have reached out to him for comment, but have not heard back.
So let me spin the block real quick, and then we're going to go into a more detailed breakdown of exactly what is happening and why Diddy is being raided in the first place. Largely, what we know before we play this video is that there's accusations, and it's all started with Cassie, okay? It all started with Cassie. Let me say this, and I always like to preface when I'm reacting to Diddy by saying that I don't care one way or another about Diddy. Never done business. He hasn't gone after anybody that I know personally. I've never heard any personal stories, and nor have I ever been invited to a party. Okay? Couple different things that I want to say here. I think what we do today, because we have social media, is that it's easy to convict somebody based off of public opinion instead of actually looking at the facts. It's no different. I see men doing this, and this disgusts me. It's no different than what women have been doing to men for a long period of time, or what we complained about women that came back after a much longer period of time in order to accuse Bill Cosby after he put them through college and all of this stuff, right? I don't support publicly hanging somebody by perception or social media talking points and false narratives, but instead, I want to get the facts. I don't care whether or not he was doing freak offs. Means nothing to me. It's nasty, but I don't care, right? What we have to stop doing is having courts of public opinion. We got to deal with the facts. We have to deal with the facts. Because all this is telling me is that if you get powerful enough, then it's easy for people to convict you because they don't like you, not necessarily because they have the facts to say anything otherwise. If they then file some charges and some evidence come out that he's dealing with some little kids or something, cool. Then we can convict him in a court of public opinion and say that. But if we just having this conversation based off of the fact that Cassie filed a lawsuit in order to get some money and then killed the lawsuit because she settled in order to get some money, and then say, oh man, this is a bad guy because people don't like the contracts that they signed with him, then that's a completely different conversation. We throw the words trafficking and all of that other stuff out so easily, and it can start to change the narrative, and you don't like it until it's somebody that's tied to you. You don't like it until it's somebody that's tied to you. And none of us like that Me Too movement. None of us like that any of that bull crap. And so we have to wait until the evidence, because we live in America. And it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And you have to be proven guilty in a court of law. So far, the only things that's been happening as far as anything court related is that people are filing lawsuits for money. Money. This last guy, whoever this guy is, I don't take him serious. He's a grown man. Talking about Cuba Gooding Jr. felt on his booty. So we supposed to pay him because Cuba Gooding Jr. felt on his booty? On his booty. Man, I don't want to hear that nonsense. I don't believe Cassie. I don't believe him. I don't believe any of these people. I don't believe any of them. So unless the evidence shows otherwise, I'm reacting to this just based off of optics, and I want to see what the facts are. Let me see what this next clip says.
Today, Fox 11 was the first.
They don't raid unless something they not the police. How do you know? Do you know somebody from Homeland Security? And what have they told you? What have they told you? How do you know what's on the tapes? Like, people just be saying anything. They don't raid you unless you're guilty. Yes, they do. When they raid you, they're looking for evidence. They're securing. Jesus Christ. Y'all just say anything, man. Y'all say some wild stuff. Wild stuff. Have y'all seen the tapes? Y'all seen the videos? Did they play it in court? I'm just saying, like, can we stop convicting people and just let them have their due diligence before we automatically assume? Because you know what people don't do? They don't go back and say, you know what, I was off about that, I was wrong. They never say that. They never say that they wrong. People never come back and say, you know what, I got it wrong. They just move over to the next story. Get the facts first. We don't go based off of your opinions. We go based off of the truth. Unless y'all know something that everybody else don't know, and you seen some evidence that the news ain't seen, I ain't seen, that ain't in a lawsuit, I don't want to hear that. Because you would want people to give you the benefit of the doubt and the ability to be able to defend yourself, right? Come on, man. We got to treat people how we would want to be treated. And unless we got something that actually shows anything different, I don't care whether you like them or not. I don't wish jail on people just by default because I don't like them.
To report about a raid at the home of Sean Diddy Combs. Tonight, we're digging a little deeper into the legal issues already facing the music mogul.
They include multiple lawsuits involving allegations of sex workers, hidden cameras, and compromising recordings of celebrities and politicians. Now, all this was prior to today's federal raid. Fox 11's Gina Silva digging into that tonight. She's got the latest on those lawsuits. Gina.
Alex, Christine, this right here, it is the lawsuit. It is 75 pages of just shocking allegations. Many legal experts say the accusations are very similar to those of Jeffrey Epstein's case.
If you have read this complaint and seen the nature of these allegations, the raids aren't that surprising.
It's a 75-page complaint with explosive allegations of sexual assault, sex trafficking, and drugging of underage girls. The lawsuit was filed by music producer Rodney Little Rod Jones on February 26th.
Hold on, wait, look at this, Sean.
It names...
He got Sean Combs, Justin Dior Combs, the son, Lucian Charles Grange, Christina Coram, Chalice Recording. Come on, man. So somebody can file a lawsuit, and then that automatically dictates that you're guilty? Somebody can file a lawsuit. A man can file a lawsuit. A grown man can file a lawsuit, and then all of a sudden, you guilty. Listen, in a lawsuit, they can say anything. They can literally say accuse you of the most damaging things, which then forces law enforcement, in order to do their due diligence, they can say anything, literally anything that they want to say inside of a lawsuit, and y'all just automatically took it. Jesus Christ.
Sean Combs, a.k.a. Diddy, his son Justin Dior, and several others. And it also includes photographs of bloody crime scenes, sex workers, and drugs allegedly administered at, quote, freak-off parties.
It's clear that the allegations, again, in this complaint, many of them rise to the level of criminal conduct where you would expect to see some kind of criminal investigation taking place.
Civil rights attorney Ariva Martin is not connected to this case. She is serving as a legal analyst.
If even a handful, not the entire complaint of allegations, but even if a handful of these allegations are true, they mean trouble for Sean Combs.
Jones lived and traveled with Diddy for 13 months. The complaint states Mr. Jones was sexually harassed and assaulted by Mr. Combs. It also states Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to solicit sex workers. The complaint goes on to claim Diddy has hidden cameras in every room of his homes, and that there are recordings of celebrities, music label executives, politicians, and athletes in compromising positions.
The number of celebrities who come up in this lawsuit who, according to this plaintiff, were involved in or have information about some of this really salacious and allegedly criminal conduct on the part of Sean Combs.
The lawsuit refers to Diddy's chief of staff as Ghislaine Maxwell, who was found guilty of recruiting underage girls for Jeffrey Epstein.
Jesus Christ. Let me tell you something. If you come into my studio, I have cameras everywhere. If you come into my crib, not in the bathroom, but if you come into my crib in the general area, it is going to be cameras everywhere. Just is what it is. Listen, man. They making this out to be more salacious than what it really is because this is a headline and it's a story. And I get it. I get it. Make sure y'all get the likes up. My people is texting me and they saying, listen, bro, make sure you get the likes up. The likes is too low. And we need to make sure that we address the like situation here. It's 3,000, more than 3,000 people here watching on multiple different platforms and the likes is a little low. But let's continue.
Seen these cases before with high-powered, affluent individuals. But again, at this point, these are allegations, and perhaps we will see this matter move from civil to criminal.
Earlier this year, Diddy's former longtime romantic partner, Cassie Ventura, accused him of rape, sex trafficking, and physical abuse. After Diddy settled that case, other women filed similar lawsuits. Diddy posted his Enough is Enough statement on Instagram, where he strongly denied all the allegations against him.
Again, just really serious allegations that clearly rise to the level of criminal conduct, if true.
So here's my thoughts on this. This is my thoughts on this, and we're going to continue to get on with the show. All right. My thoughts on this is this. Number one, be careful with who it is that you keep company with. Every single person want to be in the in crowd. Y'all don't know these people's personal history. You don't know who they tied in with. And again, this does not mean that he's guilty. It doesn't mean that he's innocent. It means that it goes back to the original thing that I say on a regular basis. Character is more meaningful. Character is more meaningful than just getting a bag with somebody. Character is more meaningful than getting a bag with somebody. Most people do not do due diligence, and they so desperate to be in the in crowd that they will never vet for whether or not they should be hanging with a person in the first place based off of what the potential is for them to get involved in something that they're not supposed to be involved in the first place. That's number one. Because now everybody gonna run for the hills. Everybody that was cool with Diddy, they ain't gonna have nothing to do with Diddy anymore. Now they not his friend no more. That's number one. Number two, what I also take from this is sometimes you can get too famous. Every single person that gets to certain levels of success, the general public want to see him fall. Every single person that gets to certain levels of success, the general public eventually wants to see them fall. I don't care who it is. First, everybody loved Oprah. Now everybody hate Oprah. Everybody used to rock with Trump and buy his books and see him rock out with rock stars and go on to hip hops, and everybody was doing songs with him. And now everybody all of a sudden hate Trump. And they will turn on you for a second. I don't trust anybody. It's the same thing that's happening with Drake. Now, Kendrick Lamar dropped a very mid-ass song. And when I say mid, that verse was very mid on the Metro Boomin Future album. And people can't wait to jump. He didn't say, I don't care about the big three. All it is big me. It was no bars in that was just like, whoa, that metaphor, that simile, that rhyme scheme, the way he said that was sick. I listened to it about 8 times back to back just to see if it was just that deep. It wasn't that deep. But people want to see Drake fall so bad, and now it's an infinity war. Kendrick Lamar, Future, Metro Boomin, they all fighting over women. And like, man, this is the most mid verse that I've ever heard Kendrick Lamar ever spit in my entire life. The people are losing their minds over it because they want to see Drake fall. That's just the truth. Eventually, you get so big, so rich, and so successful that they want to see you fall. Look, somebody, but he got great ad libs. Ad libs? Is this what we saying? He got great ad libs. That was the most mid verse that I ever heard in my entire life. And people was acting like it was just so mind-blowing. Oh my God. Stop, bro. Stop. Stop it. Okay? Just stop. Just stop. And so I never want to get so big and so famous to where the general public want to see you lose so bad to where you then become the villain. And then third, my final point in this whole situation is innocent until proven guilty applies to everybody. Innocent until proven guilty applies to everybody. It applies to women. It applies to men. It applies to young, old, rich, not rich, whatever. Until the evidence shows otherwise. Until they are convicted. Until charges is filed. I am not bandwagon jumping on this with y'all. And I'm not rocking out. I'm not. I don't care if I like you. I don't care if I don't like you. I've been consistent in saying that I would never wish unjust jail or death on anybody, regardless if you're my enemy or if you somebody I rock with. I will never wish that on you, ever. Innocent until proven guilty. Is he nasty? Yes. Freak offs? Yes. Gay? Absolutely. Turned out? 100%. Great businessman? That could be debated. But I'm not going to sit here and say that somebody deserves to go to jail based off of an accusation from a man that just was working with him. Because if he was making more money, he wouldn't even have made the accusation in the first place. Stop it, bro.